Hello everybody, it's me, just popping in. As you can see from the title, I've got Eek Thinking About 2026, which I wouldn't normally drop this in now, but because of what I'm thinking about doing in 2026, I thought I'd do a little video just to show you what I'm thinking about doing, so that if you want to work in a similar way to me next year for the stitching hour, you've got time to collect stuff. So next year, I was thinking about this year, and obviously this year we've done our dress or our item of clothing, and even I hadn't comprehended actually that's a lot of hours and hours and hours, which I have loved doing, absolutely loved doing. A lot of fabric, quite a big piece. So I thought next year we'd go totally opposite and we'd go little and we'd do 12 small pieces of work. Now, this has been inspired by a number of different things. The main thing it's been inspired by is a tin that I did, oh my goodness me, many moons ago, must be at least 10 years ago, with Viv, who's also known as Hen's Teeth. You've probably seen it online. And this was my tin that I did with her. And we did these little embroidered pieces of work that went in a tin. So I just put, today will be beautiful and fun, a little bird told me. And that's one of Viv's little birds that's in there. And it's just a little bit of embroidery that fits inside a tin. And if you followed my Wobble Gob, you know that in 2025, or this year, we're doing a collections project with Fabricology, which is what used to be the Halifax Embroiderers Guild, which I'm a member of. And I've been sharing my cake box that I've done that had 12 sections, and we've been doing 12 small pieces of work to go in there. And I just thought, you know what, I've really enjoyed doing something little again. It sort of harks back a little bit like to the tags and the flags, but it's going to have a little bit more to it, because obviously it's our stitching hour, so we've got a little bit longer, we've got a month, it's not like a week. And actually I started doing a couple of samples for it, and it takes you a lot longer to stitch something smaller, a lot longer than what you'd think. So I'm going for 12 tins, which is why I'm doing this little blurb now, just so you can have a bit of a rummage around, have a look, or start collecting things if you want to do it. Now, there's lots of different ways that you can do this. It could be a box that you've got and you section it off into 12 sections. You might have like a shadow picture frame, so one of those deep set picture frames that you want to section off. You might want to do 12 totally individual pieces of work that are not contained. You could frame them. Or one of the things that I'm going to do, which I'll talk about in a minute, is I'm going to do a little mini quilt with my pieces in as well. Because one of the things that I want to do next year, which is going to be a little bit different to how I've run things this year, is there won't be a video on the Sunday demonstrating what I'm going to do and then how I'm going to apply it. It'll be more what's on my desk, so equipment to get together. And when I come to do my tin, I'm going to do it live on the stitching hour and make a start on it, because one of the reasons that I wanted to do that is it's like a thought process. It's me talking through how I think when I put things together, and making selections and choices and things like this. So I've made a start on collecting different bits and pieces. So I've always been a collector of tins, and I happened to get a little drawer when I was at Wonderwool from Eliza, who's a gorgeous lady that has loads of vintage things. She's always at Yarndale. And I bought a little drawer, and it just so happens that my 12 tins are actually fitting inside my drawer. So the smallest tin that I have got, just looking for my ruler, I've sorted my room out, so it means then I can't find anything. So my smallest tin that I've got is a little circular tin that is, flip it around so you can see it, that's 4 centimetres in diameter. One of my smallest rectangular tins, oops, is 8 by 3. And the biggest that I've got is probably that one, which is maybe 9.5 by 6. And I have some bigger tins, so there's lots of different ways that you can do this. So the way that I'm going to do this is each month I will select a tin. So I think this tin's going to be, this is my January tin. And I'm going to set a theme for the month. And there'll either be just one piece of embroidery that goes in one side. Some months there'll be two. It might be there's something different on each side. But obviously one of the things that you can do when you're doing this is you might decide to just have 6 tins and like do January and February. All your tins might be the same. So you can get new tins. They don't have to be vintage tins, because one of the, when I was doing this, I thought, oh, the outside's the nice bit and I'm going to do stuff that's on the inside. So you can't see the outside. So if you wanted to do actually new tins, and I know somewhere, where have I got them? I had one. Because one of the things that I had got, oh, where are they? I've got one on the windowsill. Is when I do my book in a tin, the stitched book in a tin, these ones are new tins. So I got these off online. It might be that you get some sweets. We've got Christmas coming up, so you might ask people to get you things in little tins. So it can just be like a brand new little tin. So don't feel like it's got to be vintage tins. I'm just doing that because I've got these tins and I've been collecting them for a long time. And I got to a stage of like, what are you going to do with them? So some of them I'll do pieces in the lid and the base. Some of them it might just be in the base. I've not worked it all out yet. Some of them are only going to be really little pieces, but probably highly worked. And what I'm going to do is have a theme each month. So in addition to this, because obviously I'm going to do these live, I just want to work them out myself. So I've decided one of the things that I'm going to do is I've got a quilt, little piece of quilt, and what I'm going to do is section this into 12 little pieces. I measured it all out. I can't remember how big they're going to be. So my quilt is, so that's 25 by 22. I divided that by 3. So 24, yeah, so there'll be 8 by, I think they're 8 by 5, the little pieces. And I'm going to do a little embroidery that's going to go on here. So I'll not only share what I do in my tin, I'll share the little piece that I do on here. And if you remember, one of the things, the whole point about this stitching hour is it's not prescriptive. It's not you have to do it like me. It's I'm giving you a theme, I'm giving you a prompt, I'm showing you how I'm doing it, but as everybody's done. And I love it when people go off piste and do something totally different, or they just think, no, I don't want to do that, I'm going to do something totally different. So I just thought I would come on and just share this in case you are thinking or you'd like to do something where you're working in a tin. It might be that you get a big tin and you do 12 pieces of work that fit in the tin, and you might get a long piece of fabric and put them on and wrap it up and it lives inside the tin. Or it might be pages of a book, and when you open the tin there's the book inside there as well. There's so many different variations, but my main prompt for this was I have this piece of work in my downstairs loo. It sounds funny, but it's like a gallery of lots of things that I've done on workshops, and I sit and look at this and I can remember just having a lovely day creating this little piece of work. And I just thought, do you know what, it'd be quite nice to do something that goes in a tin. I don't know if they're going to stay in the drawer. I suppose it depends on whether or not I like them. It might be that what I end up doing is taking some of them out and having some of them in and having them open. I'm not 100% sure yet, but they just all fitted in that drawer, and I just thought that's an easy way to look after them. Yeah, so there we go. 2026. That was just really just to give you a little bit of a heads up of what's coming up if you fancy joining. Obviously the 2025 project is still on the go, so if you are a member of What's Sewing On, I can't wait to see your item. If you aren't a member and you're thinking that you'd like to join, even though the projects run from January to December, because that's when I tend to start them, you don't have to work on them like that. You could join now and all the sessions are all recorded. You can start working on a piece now. You might decide, well, I'm not going to do the months that have gone. I'm just going to start from this one onwards and do a smaller piece of work. You've got access to past projects as well. So, yeah. So this one is the What's Sewing On group, which also has access to the 52 challenges as well. And I'll be doing a video on next year's challenge at some point later on this year. So thanks so much for joining me. Maybe I've got your brain going. Maybe I've got you thinking about a few different things. Maybe you're thinking about jumping in and joining us. I'll put the link in the blurb and hopefully see you in What's Sewing On. Ta-da!